The following podcast is set for at least 1 hour. Introducing your hosts, from Fort Worth, Texas, at a total combined weight of 430 pounds, Kevin and Chris Newell. The Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Hey, wrestling fans, how's everything going?
Hey.
Good Wednesday to you. Well, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Chris.
And we are the Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast. I hope you guys had a great Wednesday. We're coming off the end of what
Dynamite.
is a very interesting... sorry, I'm moving some screens around here. Very interesting Dynamite. Hello? You with us here?
Good Dynamite.
That's where I tossed it up to you and give it to you, and you're just daydreaming.
All right, let's see.
We didn't even start yet. What, are you okay? we talked to the people first, remember?
You guys just made the list. Yids is here. What's up, he said?
Hey, the Divine Yinzer coming into us from our Twitch chat. What is he saying, Chris?
He's asking if we think Tony Khan is going to let Jon Moxley hold the title like Roman Reigns did.
No.
I don't know if AEW has the patience for that.
No, I don't think AEW fans do, because
That too.
a lot of people, and myself as a fan, I'm kind of getting burnt out on the Death Riders. I really am.
Yeah.
Quit kicking the desk. You keep moving the desk. I swear, we're going to get a new desk, and it's going to be less squeaky.
Okay, I won't make the desk squeak. But yeah, looking at how they do storylines, or I guess.
Actually, I'm going to give them this tonight. They surprised me.
Tonight they're doing better, but
They really did surprise me tonight with the storylines and the promos. Woo, you know. Not to Ric Flair it, but woo, you know. I mean, and to get things right off the bat, I don't watch AEW, but who do you think may be the...
Joe.
We're gonna get to that discussion here in a minute. We'll indulge the Divine One in a few minutes here.
Swerve.
While he doesn't listen to me and just throws out his little
We'll get to it later.
things.
It's some with the news, isn't it?
No. All right. So, since he is so eager to go ahead and go over the results with you guys, hey,
Right, so-
it's Aaron Black 1210, better
Welcome.
known as that Chris, not this Chris. I'm not touching you. Am I touching you? Am I not touching you? Am I touching you? Am I not touching you?
I mean,
Okay.
Chat. Yeah, he touched me a little.
Ric Flair next to AEW.
Oh no.
Oh, I like it,
They
yes.
might actually do that too. I would
Yeah.
hope they don't.
And I just remembered, Jens, I'm still got to put together that video for you. I completely forget. I'm very sorry.
If you
Caught up in a whole, caught up in this whole entire thing, especially this week. I mean, we
week,
especially
especially tomorrow and Sunday.
Yeah, tomorrow we got TNA and AEW Collision. Then Sunday we've got NXT's Battlegrounds, and then AEW's Double or Nothing, which we're gonna have to watch both at the same time simultaneously. Good times. That way we're on at a reasonable hour for you guys and not late in the hour, you know. Yep. Giving it the Orange
Whatever.
Cassidy. All XWW. I love that. That's good, Jens. All right. Well, here to give you the recap, my oldest, the fruit of my loins, my seed,
I
Christopher.
remember that bit, whatever it was. All right, so we
I
had
threw him off for a second. Sorry.
So we had the whole Hurt Syndicate thing, and that was it for AEW. No, I'm joking.
No, they were actually pretty good tonight.
They were.
I was at. Well, I mean, there were some low spots we'll go over, but go ahead, Chris.
They were better than AEW normally is.
Yeah.
They even stayed on the entire duration of their runtime this time.
MJF needs another AEW championship run coming from Yenzer. I think
he's
so.
going to get it here sooner or later.
He'll get it soon. Go ahead, Chris.
But
Chris.
What they actually started off with was like the whole face-to-face, whatever they're calling it, thing between Hangman and Will Ospreay.
Okay.
Would have been funny if he had a cowboy hat. Really would have.
He's done it before. He's rid into an arena on a horse.
Imagine if they do that when they get to All in Texas.
Oh, good God.
I'm looking for that now.
There's going to be so much horse crap all over the place. Anyway, sorry.
But you had Will Ospreay talking about how neither of them are going to get physical and then kind of sending security away. Before offering him Hangman a drink, he ended up just kind of sitting it in the corner. And then you had Will talk about how he wants to make his son have his son see him as the world champion. And Paige ended up saying he knew the feeling and how he needs this opportunity and talked about how he needed it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Yenzer. MJF, Hangman, Omega, and the Young Bucks are the only non-ex-WWEs.
What about Swerve and Nana?
Well, I mean, no, Swerve was.
Oh.
He used to be in WWE. He was part of Hit Row.
He was?
Yeah. He was the leader of Hit Row.
I don't remember Hit Row.
Flop Dollar.
That was the only thing.
B-Fab.
Only things I remember.
Ashanti the Adonis. Made up Hit Row.
And then he ended up moving back to NXT. At least I think he moved back to NXT.
He never got called up. No, actually, yeah. No, he did get called up, but then got Ashanti the Adonis, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress.
So yeah, I guess they really are all ex-WWE.
Yeah.
Even Cody. Because he left and then came back.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then he...
People can't see your face. I tell you this every episode and every post show. Put the mic down a little. You got to enunciate, son. Project.
Okay, I'll stop messing around.
I will hit you.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
Mm-hmm.
Wepa. Yeah, soundboard. Anyway, you had him asking what Paige is going to do. Because he said he was going to do his best. And if he can beat Paige, then eventually he could beat Moxley. If they don't want him to have...
Well, that's the achievable goal by both men.
That and another thing, if he ends up having a title reign like Roman, his title reign would make up half of... It would last half as long as the company has.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Give or take.
Especially if they have that happen now.
Yeah. Well, before you get to the match, because I sense you're about to talk about the first match.
No, there was like one more line.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
He was talking about... Then he said something about how if Paige wins, he's going to support him and have his back, and he hopes that Paige would do the same thing for him.
Okay. I, for one, I really like this. I really like this promo. I really liked Ospreay's.
Ospreay was doing.
Ospreay was like right on top of his promo game, and it was very passionate. You really felt his passion, and you really are now. I'm rooting for him. I'm wanting Ospreay to win this. Hangman and Paige,
and not just because you dislike Hangman.
Not because I dislike Hangman. Because Hangman's promo, it was like he was trying to match that of Ospreay's, but it came out sounding like a crybaby and just whining.
It really did.
And I was like, we heard this before, this whining. No, Hangman, no. If you want people really in your corner, you don't seek sympathy. You know, Ospreay, he's saying, when I come back into my hometown, when we go to the O2 Arena for when Worlds Collide, or not when Worlds Collide, but Forbidden Door.
I think he said like slipped in. Correct. I don't know.
No.
Maybe he slipped in.
No, he's saying at Forbidden Door, it's going to happen at the O2 Arena. He wants to walk in there as the AEW World Champion. And he said, you know, I just want to show my son, I want to show all the supporters I've had all these years, thank you and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, I can get behind that. Because he had no he was not searching for sympathy. He was just searching out for admiration for what he has done with his wrestling career.
Yep.
And then Hangman Adam Page is like, I'm dark, I was going through dark times and these and you know, it's like the last 2 years, man. You know, I couldn't get behind Hangman Adam Page with his promo. As a fan, it's like you want to go after the guy that's more passionate, that, you know, you believe in his words, and that was Ospreay. I'd have to back Ospreay. You know, granted, he did the Triple H water bottle spit thing with the beer at the end, but I'll forgive him for that for now.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I don't know why he did that.
I don't know either. But
unless he was trying to.
It's got me more behind Will Ospreay now.
Yeah.
You know, I really like that. That Chris saying Triple H dropped the ball with Swerve. I think he did, personally. But then again, they were restricting Swerve when he was in WWE, I think. And now he came to AEW, he tapped into himself a little more, and we got one of the dangerous men in AEW right now, and I got to get behind that.
Of all of AEW.
I got to get behind that. I really do.
I got something moving over there.
What?
I thought I saw something move over there, but nothing moved over there.
Okay, we got to chill on the Ghost Hunters TV show.
What about Ghost Adventures?
No, don't start that. No.
Maybe I should try taunting the ghost.
There is no Anyway.
Then you had the first match after that.
The first. Let me make it abundantly clear.
Explain this one, 'cause
the first of 3 of the matches for tonight, because AEW.
Yeah,
It's the go home show, and I know WWE has done this with only having 4 matches or whatever, but AEW only had 3.
I was like reading back through the notes, like proofreading, all that sort of crap, making sure I didn't mess it up super bad. But only 3 matches.
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
I was surprised by that too. I really was. I was really surprised by that.
And for a second, I really thought I like missed one, but no. Just 3 matches.
Well, like I said, it's their go home show, so they're trying to take it easy. But this match. Where's my hand? This match right here, I'm not understanding, because they're supposed to have Anarchy in the Arena, and for those that are not familiar with AEW's matches or names of matches,
The best part of Anarchy in the Arena is the band.
more on that when we come to the end of the show, okay? Well,
real?
not our show, but of your notes. I picked up on something as I was watching the end. But no, Anarchy in the Arena, this particular match, you have a group of people, and they're just fighting around the whole entire arena. It doesn't matter where they go, backstage, in the arena in front of everybody, in the crowd, doesn't matter. Pinfalls count, if I remember right, pinfalls count anywhere. And it can go into the parking lot, it can go across
glass.
It can go across the street. It can go anywhere. As long as they're, I wouldn't be surprised if they get into a car and have like a demolition derby or something in the parking lot or something. I don't know.
Give it time.
Give it time. It'll happen.
There'll be a monster truck move they have to advertise.
But you've got some of the people that are competing here. You definitely got Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, Swerve Strickland. I'm trying to think who else is in this match.
Joe and the guys.
Who?
Samoa Joe and the
I already said that. Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, I know, is a part of it.
No, he interfered after.
No, he's part of it, I think.
What? Oh, the one coming up.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Willow Nightingale is a part of the match. So it's pretty much they're matching up even numbers to take on Death, what seems like the Death Riders, but the Young Bucks are involved. And
we're going to call it the Death Riders, even though...
Yeah. Either way...
Imagine if the Death Riders ends up becoming their new NWO.
Oh, probably. But you got these guys in what was a 30-minute match? Am I right? This match lasted like most of the
the runtime, I would
most
say.
of the first hour, because you only had a good 20-minute or so promo from Paige and Ospreay, and then the rest of that hour was just this match. And they were doing some hard hitting stuff, and it's like, guys, you've got a big pay-per-view match coming up this Sunday, and you're trying to kill each other now. That's kind of...
I'm going to be honest, I don't know why they didn't just do what WWE did and, like, put on some of their less doing storylines, you know? Unless they're saving all of the lesser storylines for, like, Collision or something.
I don't know. They could be.
Then again, we both know how they love to cram their match cards just full of stuff for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours of wrestling.
It's like too much.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It's like too much of a good thing, it can be a bad thing. All right. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to say that about that first match is like, really?
Then again, too much of a bad thing is still bad, so... I mean,
too much of a good thing is still... It doesn't matter, just read.
The match ended with Swerve pinning one of the Young Bucks, and then the fight continued with...
Still hiding your face.
Oh, sorry about that.
I know it doesn't help much for people that are just listening to the show, but for people that are watching, don't hide your face, dude.
I'm just going to Tony Khan this. Stare wide-eyed into the camera. No. You know, imagine if that's how we open every AEW episode from now on, just staring.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit.
All good things. We weren't saying nothing bad.
Tony, go back to your cage. I've been training him. I have been. I've been training him to stay away. It's okay. Everybody can remain calm. Anyway.
I lost my spot here for a second. Then you basically had everyone coming out that's going to be involved in that upcoming match. Then you had the Hurt Syndicate contract signing thing, which went relatively smoothly up until Bobby Lashley started reading the contract.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Then it kind of slowed down for a bit, and then he signed it, and everything went back to normal. It was all fine.
Yeah.
And then you had Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara.
Sammy
Was
Guevara.
the last name. I wrote Sammy, so it could have been Sammy Callahan, Sami Zayn. Who knows? Maybe all three. They should have a triple threat, and whoever wins gets to keep the names. No.
Anyway, go ahead.
As funny as that would be. But they came out, talked about how MJF is like a snake in the grass or something.
Yeah.
And how their upcoming fight won't be easy. I think that's also at the pay-per-view coming up.
It is. You have the Texas Sons, Dustin Rhodes, and Sammy Guevara, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, taking on the AEW Tag Team Champions for the AEW Tag Titles.
Title for title, or
No.
Oof.
Although that would be interesting to go ahead and do. If you want the Hurt Syndicate to run the business, let them be Ring of Honor champions too. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But MJF got into the Hurt Syndicate with relatively no issues.
I really thought there was something there. But that promo by Dustin Rhodes, though, it started off strong, but then it was like a roller coaster that was just not even a roller coaster. You know, you just go up that hill and go down, and that's it. That's the end of the ride. You know, he was starting off really good. Just
No, you go up, you go down, and it's kind of flat for the rest of the ride. So
no. With this one, and again, I speak as a fan when it comes to.
where it started.
I speak as a fan when it comes to these promos, okay? Because I've never cut a promo to save my life. Granted, other people would debate that otherwise, you know, because we were part of TTW, and then of course, you know, Yinzer's wrestling promotion before it became the
Waffle House Wrestling.
Waffle House Wrestling. Yes,
I think that's what it was, right? Just want to make sure I'm
Waffle
getting
House
that right.
Championship Wrestling. It'd still be considered WCW, but a good version, you know. There would be no NWO, you know, no new Waffle Order. Oh my God, I just gave you an idea, didn't I, Yinzer? I just made a faction for him and didn't even know it.
I've never thought.
No,
of
but
the
no. Got a better one for his faction. The the NPO, New Pancake Order.
Nah, get them out of there. Ain't no pancakes at a Waffle House. Unless there is.
No, I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've eaten at a Waffle House. And there's like one like almost on every single block.
He doesn't want to get into one of the Waffle House fights.
No, I don't. Anyway,
Watching them's fine. Getting involved in one, not
anyway,
so much.
as a wrestling fan, that promo it was going. It was going. Dustin was starting good, and then it just went into ranting and not making any sense. And why is Sammy quiet? Why is he not talking? What is going on? Oh my God, this is, you know, the track. It is went off the track. It is went off the track with that promo. It was like you need to let Sammy talk too.
That might be an interesting roller coaster. Come to think of it, if it was done safely, though.
Still, but I mean, I really wasn't. It was like this is going to be a real quick squash match the way that they're cutting the promo.
It might
And Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin didn't really say much. Didn't say anything at all.
Well, I'm thinking.
And then MVP didn't say anything at all.
I'm thinking that MJF and MVP are going to end up interfering at some point, and that's going to be the reason the match gets cut short.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the reason they're going to say it was, for the match getting cut short.
I agree.
He said yep.
Yep.
I think that was to the name or something.
Yeah.
Unless that was to him adding the new waffle order. Or new pancake order. Or maybe have both and have them face each other.
That'd be interesting. Anyway, go ahead.
Then you had Anthony Bowens versus Ricochet. And there was this funny thing I noticed. I think when Ricochet was coming out. It was when one of them came out.
Uh-huh.
You had a sign that said bald. But
oh, yeah, you pointed this out.
it was made out of like Ricochet faces that it said bald.
That was good.
It's a funny looking picture. But the whole
Rickobald.
I mean, it's better than some of the other names.
I agree.
But then again, you know.
You okay? You're tripping up on your words over there.
Something. Then you had the scissors in the turnbuckle, and I was gonna make a joke about the Acclaimed and the whole scissor thing.
Kind of funny how that kind of just
backfired. Yeah.
Backfired on Anthony Bowens there.
Yep, because it cost him the match, and Ricochet got pinfall victory.
But Ricochet didn't get away scot-free, did he?
Nope. On his way out, attacked by Mark Briscoe, with a stretcher.
Okay.
Foreshadowing or preview type thing of their upcoming stretcher match.
I shrink. We are at high level now.
Because of the delay on this.
I know
we're watching
the delay because we're recording audio from our own YouTube channel of our show. We put the audio out there, and You could see me kind of delaying, and I'm like slowly sinking.
Were you watching it as you were going down?
No, I was watching over here on our live feed one to just see what was going on, and
No,
then
it's
after that, then I saw the one on YouTube.
He saw it the entire time. I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I could just see him out of the corner of my eye going down.
Okay.
Let's see.
We just got done talking about Anthony Bowens and Ricochet.
FTR and Stokely doing a promo
good
talking
lord.
about. I thought you liked FTR.
FTRing AEW's answer to Kevin Hart. Yes.
AEW Kevin Hart.
Would you quit moving the desk?
Okay. They want their contract signing thing to be over. They don't want it to be over the internet. They want it to be face to face. So I think that's going to be.
That's going to be on Collision.
Yeah. Either that or next week, one of two.
Yeah.
Then after that, you had Hayter and Monet having their face to face thing. Hayter,
Which didn't go exactly as the Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page one went.
that one ended in a fight.
And Monet still declaring herself the Beyonce of women's wrestling.
Nah, I don't see it.
I'm really not feeling that match with the promos by both of them.
No.
As a fan, I'm not feeling it. I'm not.
Yeah, that ended in a fight. Then you had the next match, which was...
The main event.
Yeah, it was. Because I had the whole thing at the end with the Bucks getting attacked. And I was like... And I was thinking that was the main event, and then I looked back over
this
it, like,
was the
real
main
quick.
event.
Yeah. Because I was... Yeah. Something. So, main event, as he said, Julia Hart versus Mina Shirakawa.
By the way, Tony Khan had made an announcement just sometime after Dynamite went off the air. Mina, who?
Shirakawa.
She is officially signed to AEW.
They made the match, but she wasn't officially signed to AEW.
I guess she was working some kind of like extension contract or something via New Japan. But she is now officially on the AEW roster.
Weird. I guess I don't think she's getting the title then, so there's that.
True.
There's who we think's gonna win that match. Let's see. You had Storm at commentary for this match. Match ended with Mina pinning Julia Hart, and then putting her in a figure four. Before Sky Blue came in and broke the hold, and you had Storm come in and attack Sky Blue.
You think Sky Blue and Julia Hart will form a team?
I'm thinking some kind of tag team is going to come out of this match because
the faction that Julia Hart's with Brody King and Buddy Matthews, it's not working. It really isn't. They should be going their separate ways right now. Because what they're doing exactly, and I brought them up earlier, they're doing exactly what Hit Row did. Swerve left, got released from WWE, and all you had was Flop Dollar, Ashanti the Adonis, and B-Fab. Okay?
yeah,
And your leader is now gone, much like House of Black. You've got Buddy Matthews, Brody King, and Julia Hart left. And now you've got Buddy Matthews, who's out injured. Brody King is losing matches, not winning as many. And Julia Hart still...
on her own.
Yeah, kind of. It feels like she's kind of off on her own. I think the theme song, her theme song, has changed the lyrics. Instead of the house always wins, the heart always wins. That's what I heard. I could be wrong. I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know. But it sounded like the lyrics to her theme song have changed to the heart always wins instead of the house always wins when she was a part of House of Black.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then Julia Hart's off on her own now. And her entrance is completely different than what it used to be, like when they were with when she was with House of Black, to where the lights go out and
They just teleport.
you just see
walk
lights,
to the ring.
and then all of a sudden she's in the ring. You know, now you get to see her walk to the ring and mouthing the words to the song. So, I think if they do, that would be a good formidable tag team, and that should kind of spark AEW to create a women's tag division. But
That depends on how
they
long.
need to really, I would say, fix, but work on their actual division.
It depends on how long they stay a tag team. Because
Yes.
I think they teamed up at one point.
They did, and it was almost to the point where it was like, okay, so Sky Blue is going to join the House of Black.
These games before.
Yeah,
That sort of thing. But then you had like the whole last thing they did with the Bucks leaving, but then being attacked by the Ops or whatever.
yeah,
Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs, and then that eventually turned into like a preview for the Arena Anarchy in the Arena match.
Now, this is what I wanted to make note of. The theme song to Dynamite was playing in the back.
Yeah.
While this was all going on, and I was getting a flashback to the last Anarchy in the Arena match I saw, where the band could not
I was thinking the
freaking
same
stop
thing.
playing. And now we're hearing the theme song to Dynamite just playing, and it's all like, okay, we get it. They're fighting. Are they going off the air? I mean, what are they doing here?
He was very happy about it. I assure you guys that.
I'm serious.
He was
You could
not
you could hear it, and you're like,
I was
okay, are they?
wondering what they were playing.
Yeah, it was the theme song, Dynamite's theme song, and I'm like, okay, are they going off the air now? I mean, usually they'll just cut it off mid-fight or show the dominant. You know, they did that. They did that finally, showing the it was I think it was Moxley's group or whatever on top and everything, and I'm like, finally, okay, because this fight took forever.
I'm gonna be honest. I stopped paying attention towards the end.
I know
that
all they
fight.
were doing was just fighting.
Yeah.
So, anyway, all in all, despite us giving them a hard time all the time,
Good AEW episode.
it was I enjoyed it. I really did. I've got no complaints. I mean, there are a few ups and downs with the promos and what they were doing.
Especially for like a go home show.
For a go home show, they really got to hit it at home. All right, Chris, you take care.
That
Thanks
Chris,
for
not this Chris.
Yes. Thanks for stopping by anyway, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. Married life, I guess. That's what happens. Happy wife, happy life. Take note of that, son. Seriously, take note of that. No. All right.
My phone battery died though. No, it didn't.
Okay. All right, so we're going to hit up with some news. Do have an update on Zoey Stark and her injury.
Was it real or fake?
No, it was real. This was this. I guess it was a WrestleVotes Q&A on Wrestle Binge, and the host was Joe Lowry, and gave an update, and got the word from Chris Featherstone. She's getting an arm MRI, and she's heading into surgery. This was today. News I had made today. She underwent surgery. Saying, quote, "We just found that out literally minutes before we got on the air," end quote. Now, she obviously she suffered a severe knee injury, and some are saying it's similar to the knee injury she suffered back in 2021, where she had tore her ACL, MCL, and meniscus. Ow.
Oof. Again.
But I don't think it's on the same knee. This is on a different knee.
Well, that's fine then.
But
No,
to,
it didn't hurt at all.
that was earlier this morning, and now earlier this evening she had put out on social media. She breaks her silence and says, quote, "Wow, love the support. Means more to me than you'll ever know. What hurts more than my knee is knowing I won't be able to perform for all of you for a while. I love what I do, and I'm blessed to do this as the saying goes, the comeback is greater than the setback. Love you guys. So she is going to be out for quite some time. And, I mean, this couldn't come at a bad time for her.
Worse.
It couldn't come at a worse time, yeah. Because you had Sonya Deville get released, and then you had her and Shayna Baszler, Zoey Stark and Shayna Baszler, trying to carry on their tag team, but they lose their last tag match together, and then Shayna gets released, and she's all by herself, and now she has this injury.
It's not looking good.
No. And her and Shayna Baszler were having a good gimmick with their tag team that, you know, we're not like most women. We're not going to run around half naked or anything like that or show our cleavage. We're here to fight. And I was like, you know what? I'm loving this. I'm loving this version, this gimmick of these two.
I feel like if they had continued with that, maybe they could have ended up with a tag title at some point.
Maybe, but it never happened. And Shayna Baszler could not get past that on the main roster. She couldn't get past the tag division at all. She was stuck in the tag division. She never could get into singles. She was once NXT Women's Champion.
She tried like going against Rhea at one point, if I remember right.
Yeah, but
she didn't win anything.
I mean, title-wise, she couldn't get anything.
Yeah.
But wherever she lands next, I look forward to it because she meant business every time she stepped in the ring, and I took her seriously. So
if she is being, Shayna or Zoe?
Shayna.
I was for a second. I was about to say
no. So new development on SmackDown and their run time.
They're going back to 2 hours. Yippee!
No, it looks like they're being 3 hours is going to be longer than expected. This according to PW Insider. Internal listings at the USA Network, they have SmackDown written down for extended runtime during early June, for the duration of early June.
3 hours SmackDown, yippee!
This is as of right now. We don't know if it's going to change or when it's going to turn over, but I mean, in the last thing we reported about that, it was going to be happening in early June when they're switching back to the 2 hour show. And that may actually happen. That may happen late June or early July. Maybe actually probably mid-July when it may happen. We don't know. Update on the Wyatt Sicks. Everyone, yeah, I got your attention right there. And I probably got a lot of people's attention there. I hear ears perking up. I see eyes now turned towards us. The Wyatt Sicks, well, it's the whole, according to PW Insider, again, using them as a source, there are no updates. They said this, quote, no updates on the Wyatt Sicks returning to the road as I write this, Mike Johnson reporting. Right now they're not doing live events. Not house shows, as I call them, or as they call them. They're not doing house shows, which means they're probably going to be put on TV and just be strictly TV and not tour like house shows or anything, which not right now. I mean, they got to get back up on television and build up a stronger fan base and everything. So we'll see more about that.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this last night. AEW Dark.
Are they coming back?
They very well could possibly be bringing it back.
AEW now a YouTube exclusive. No.
Fightful Select Q&A podcast by Sean Ross Sapp was asked about AEW and if they're going to bring back Dark or Dark Elevation, and it could be possibly aired on Max or still back on YouTube. So Sean Ross Sapp explained, people in
I'll let you finish.
People in AEW are wanting Dark to return to the same form, or in some form or fashion. Could be AEW's third show for the week. You know,
they'll turn that into Shockwave.
Probably.
If Shockwave, is gone as Rampage is.
Let's see here. So we don't know right now, because AEW
Hear me
Dark
out.
went away soon as AEW purchased Ring of Honor. So soon as they got Ring of Honor, they let AEW Dark go and just ended it.
Yeah.
But there's talks that it could be coming back.
What I'm thinking they could do with that is, because we already know that it already looks like they're having issues filling seats. So, and putting dark matches, which is like, why go to an AEW show at that point?
Right.
If they're still doing it. Because that's another thing that gets people wanting to see the dark matches. So, what I'm thinking they're probably going to do is not do that. Like, they're going to find some way to try and make you pay for that.
Okay, I see what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Makes sense, too. All right, moving right along. So this happened on...
That's what I would do. So,
oh,
if I was having AEW issues.
well, this happened on Busted Open Radio, their podcast, their show. Happened earlier today. Thunder Rosa was on there, and one of the hosts, Dave LaGreca, had spoke about Stephanie Vaquer's promo that she did last night on NXT, where she kind of went in. She would do English, but then went into Spanish. It was meant to be a moment of Stephanie being authentic and showing representation of the Latin culture, and most fans were actually enjoying it. Like, you know what, we love this. You know, we're in love with Stephanie Vaquer. You know, she's doing great. We're loving the NXT Women's Division. Well, there are some fans that decided to lash out with hateful remarks about it, and during the segment, it was the backlash was aimed at Vaquer. And she was targeted with xenophobic comments.
She's not a xenomorph, though.
I know. She wasn't cutting, all because she wasn't cutting her whole promo in English. And so there were some fans that were tweeting, quote, needs to learn English. Hang on. I'm going to get your... I want you to hold as much of your thoughts as you can, because I'm going to get through this whole thing, because there's a lot that both Thunder Rosa and Dave LaGreca had mentioned on here. And let me tell you, this really set them off. So I believe it was Dave LaGreca that started, quote, "So if I'm a major company right now and you're worried about a language barrier with your audience, I think that's a bunch of horse crap. I'm gonna be paraphrasing the curse words, because there's like a lot of them.
Not the no words. Imagine if we had the bleep sound again.
As soon as we get a good functioning soundboard and everything, we'll get the soundboard back. He continues. Quote,
to be announced.
Yes. If you're emotionally invested in that character, you talk about breaking barriers. You can break barriers with somebody that you're absolutely committed, dedicated to, and love. And everything I'm saying right now is in quotes for Dave LaGreca. I think his name was David. I want to make sure I'm saying the names right. Yeah, Dave.
Not Dave.
There's
two Daves.
Yeah, I know. Dave's not here. He goes off and says, I think Stephanie Vaquer is somebody that has grabbed me emotionally to the point where that language barrier doesn't mean a lot. I hear a lot about, well, she still doesn't have a good grasp of the English language, or if she wants a major push and to be on the main roster, she's going to have to grasp the English language. So what was that whole thing during Penta's debut? He did a promo in English and did one in Spanish, but he wasn't getting any flack for that.
That, and again, like, not even just Penta. Like, this has happened for, the past year or two? At least as far as I can remember. Ray's been doing it. I think Dragon Lee's done it once or twice.
anyone of LWO or Legado del Fantasma, Lola Vice,
Sky,
Io
like
Sky.
Damage Control,
Yeah.
Japanese. It's like,
Okay.
what does it mean then, you know?
Yeah. Hang on. I'm telling you, there's more. Because I haven't gotten to Thunder Rosa's part yet. He's continuing on saying, I say that's a bunch of effing crap. I think, or freaking crap. I think that's a bunch of freaking crap.
Strapped to their freaking heads.
Yeah, I know. Then Thunder Rosa came in saying, anybody who said that, F you. F you, you piece of garbage crap. Doesn't, because it doesn't matter about language barriers. It's effing global. Get out of your effing shell of these four walls that you live in, you dumb F. I'm tired of reading this crap on social media. I'm tired of reading this racist effing crap from people. Go F yourself. I'm not done.
Do you speak English? F you. It's like that
no,
meme.
well, yeah, but I'm not done yet. She continues. Just imagine. Did you just put out the notification real quick, Chris, of that we're live? It just hit my Discord. Anyway.
That's weird. Because I literally put that out like a little before we started the show.
Yeah. So
what I was doing was checking a meme.
So she continues on saying, just imagine this. You read that. I have to live through it all the time. I have to live through all the effing time. When they told me to go back to my country, when they told me to shut the F up, that I can't speak English, when they told me that I am unfit to cut promos on TV all the time, and I read that all the time, it's just like, it sucks your life away. Whoever is her writer, whoever is helping her talk and do these promos is brilliant, she said. That's what Thunder Rosa said. Not everybody gets that opportunity, because I remember when I was there writing promos for me in Lucha Underground, my English was not as good as it is now. That was like 10 years ago. I had to ask them to change the words because I couldn't pronounce them, and there was nobody there to teach me how to do it. So you have to find an effing way to do it yourself. There are so many people like me who have the same issues because we can't pronounce certain things. It's a struggle. It's not only we have to learn the style of wrestling, especially on TV, and on top of that, we have to learn how to speak and say certain things a certain way. Then we mispronounce things and people make fun of us all the time. It's effing hard. It's so hard. And it's just the fact that we cannot continue reading that all the time. Because if you do, you get disheartened. You're like, crap, what the F do I need to do now to better myself? It's very, very difficult. It is true for people that are not from here, and all I want the listeners to understand, this, and all my haters too on Twitter that always say, oh, I don't listen to Bustin' Open on Wednesdays because I hate Thunder Rosa. Guess what? I work my ass off, and the people that are in the same shoes that I'm in, we work our asses off to learn English and to be able to transcend and translate on TV so you can understand our struggle, so you can understand what we went through, so you can understand what we continue to go through every single day. Because we are not from here. Because some people don't want to accept that we are here and we are going to stay here. We work triple as hard as anyone else. Because if we don't get an opportunity, end quote. Mic drop with Thunder Rosa. I mean, I'm dropping my phone, but
Phone drop.
I mean, applause. Applause to her for saying that, because that, everything she said, absolutely true. Now, you had some thoughts. Go ahead and get your thoughts out.
That, and like, why are we hearing about it like now? You know, it wasn't an issue when Ray did it, or
you're reinstating the last statement you said.
Or when you had the other wrestlers speaking Japanese, it's not an issue with them, but why is it an issue with like these two, right?
Right.
So
You had like back in the Attitude Era, you had, I forget the guy's name, but it was a tag team, and Funaki, who's now a commentator
indeed. Those
for
guys.
those guys.
That was
Those
funny.
guys had voiceover, the bad, Godzilla voiceover thing,
That faction. I know it might be kind of offensive by today, especially by today's standards, but I thought it was kind of funny.
I mean, during the Attitude Era, yeah. And, I mean, you had that going on. And then, I mean, all that going on. And it's just like, come on, really? We're gonna make fun of her, and we're going to jump on her case because she can't pronounce English really well. At least she's trying. And
Did they legit like dub over them, or was it them just throwing off their voice?
no, that was them being dubbed over.
Oh. It would have been even funnier if they were throwing off their voice.
It would have been. But, I mean, Funaki's still with the company. He's now a commentator for Japanese fans because, like WWE says, they're transmitting over in many languages now. I mean, WWE is getting fans in Saudi Arabia, in Europe, in Japan, everywhere.
It's almost like one of the W's stands for world.
Who would have thunk, huh?
Not pandas. Apparently.
Who would have thunk? Because, I mean, heaven forbid, we get some people from other countries that wrestle, and they wrestle very well, but, oh dear God, help us if they can't get an English sentence correct.
Yeah.
It's completely, completely ridiculous.
It's alright, I've been yawning the whole time over here. So.
No, I wasn't yawning, I hiccuped. For that, I say
That's your fault. No, I'm joking.
Well, for those people that say that about, the language barrier and everything, grow up. If you live...
you have, again, like the whole thing of speaking two languages. How many people speak even English, like one language well,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. That is a very good point. All right. Now, there was a very... I took notes on a very long interview that Karrion Kross did on the Ariel Helwani show. They had many articles that were breaking down the interview. I just combined them all in one. So first one I found was Karrion Kross talking about Randy Orton, and that it was about that he was possibly going to face him at WrestleMania. He said, quote, "It was only ever something that was tracking online. No one ever said you're in the running or anything like that. Randy's one of the greats of all time, and as badly as I wanted to be in the ring with him, and I still do, I'd never be so condescending as to go to them and be like, how about me? They know who's available in a special event, and maybe they felt it was random, but whatever." Then he continued on, trying to be more realistic and everything, saying, "For me, there's always that brass ring, but I feel like there's also a line of delusion. I think I'm being hard on myself, but I'm telling you the truth, I didn't. Maybe I should have. I would have loved to wrestle Randy at WrestleMania, but it is what it is." Then he was talking about the leak of information of privacy of his that was about his WWE contract, and he was legitimately upset about that because
contract stuff leaked?
Yeah, like it was very private. He didn't want anyone to know about that.
Did we cover any of that?
No.
Oh, good. That's good.
Don't worry, he's not coming to our door and busting it down to try to kill us. He's a follower of ours. Anyway,
Follow the cross promo on
you're really not letting that go, are you?
No.
No, you're not. So he continues on saying about this. He says, quote, "Whoever did it, they put me over the edge because I think it happened online not long after AOP and Ellering were gone. it was like one thing after another, so I'm still pretty pissed about it. I don't know who did it. It's impossible to say. But I was kind of out of my mind at that moment. It really bothered me because it's about privacy. And you know what I mean? Who the hell was supposed to know about that? Stuff gets leaked all the time, so end quote. Let's see. And then he was talking about when he got released the first time from WWE about going to AEW. He was asked about that, and he said, yes. The communication just organically fell off with Cody and me at the time, and the process of communicating with him when he was there, Hunter had called me, and I was like, we're turning right, we're going next lane, boom. Then he was asked about, he was like borderline. He was wanting to do it, but then, you got a phone call from Triple H telling him, we want you back. And he came back. Then there's the talk of, when he went to the main roster and did the Road Warriors gimmick, which he hated. I know he did. But everyone noticed, well, wait a minute, where's Scarlett? Scarlett's supposed to be with him. Why is he coming out by himself and not like he usually does? He explains this. So someone who's no longer with the company had asked her to get in the ring and move around like a dark match. When we were still in lockdowns, we were doing shows where nobody was there. She got in the ring relatively quickly and wound up getting injured. And so she is in post-recovery of that. She was in post-recovery. So by the time he got called up to the main roster, she was already injured. And then they ended up releasing her.
Here's an injury. No, here's a release papers.
Yeah. They Stone Cold Steve Austin her in a way. Let's see, I'm trying to remember the context of this.
That don't seem very nice, I'm going to be honest with you.
Then he was talking about a bunch of mixed messages from WWE's creative team. He says, quote, I was also told that 1 minute that we were going to be together, and then I was told, this is still going on about his wife joining him. We were going to be together, and then I was told the next that we weren't. And then I was also told that she was going to be brought up to the main roster and not to worry about it. Just get on TV and she'll join after. Well, apparently that didn't happen. So he continues on saying, I was entirely opposed in the beginning to going out there without her because I don't know, just out of like human loyalty, like where, we have an act together. I don't want her to feel a particular way about, me going out. But she still gave him full support, even though she wasn't coming out to the ring. He elaborates on that, saying, quote, but we talked about it. She understood, but she understood, what I mean. She's like, this is for us. It's for our household. I'll catch up when I get the green light to come back. Their reunion was promised, then denied again, leaving both Kross and Scarlett in limbo, as it were. Then came the time of the release, and he goes on about that, saying, quote, we were just kind of under an assumption that we were going to be grouped back together, and then we were told we weren't. That time was all very weird, but I will say those people I was dealing with at the time, just to reiterate it, they are not with the company anymore. So members of the creative team and the writing team, no longer there. That's why you kind of see a pivotal change in some things, Okay. And then then it was talked about, his hair, shaving his head and everything, because now he's got long hair. With him coming back, they were talking about him shaving his head again. He said, I actually almost shaved my head in December. He said, I was going to donate my hair to a charity that was going to turn it into a wig, like a wig for kids that are suffering for hair loss or whatever. It is that they're that they were doing. And he continues on here saying they wanted to time it creatively so we could kind of kill two birds with one stone, but that didn't come around. I made a good donation in the absence of donating my hair, so I work with them on the side. Then the last bit he was talking about.
You bald back in December.
I was bald back in December.
You would have both been bald.
Yeah.
Bald brothers.
Well.
Almost.
But that was pretty much the interview. It was a really good interview. All in all, I mean, I'm ready for him to get that push that he so deserves, because he's been all over the place.
Who would he get the push against?
I don't know.
Like,
that's a good question.
Where would the storyline rivalry be against? Who do you think?
That's a good question. I really don't know. I would say if he is staying heel, even though he has got a big, strong fan, he's a heel. But he's getting a big fan response to where they may turn him face. He's on Raw right now. He may go up against someone in the Judgment Day if Finn Balor becomes Intercontinental Champion.
I could see that.
Just saying, we could be seeing Karrion Kross as the Intercontinental Champion after taking on Finn Balor, and that's probably when Finn Balor is going to leave the Judgment Day. I don't know. Or he takes on Braun Breaker.
That could be a good one.
Or take on Seth Rollins. We honestly don't know right now. And if he is going to stay heel, again, only time will tell. And with that time, to quote TikTok. That's all I can say. Only time will tell. All right. Let me switch the logos back here. All right. So, just had a few key things to talk about in this day in wrestling history. Just two key moments that were actually a year apart. And a few birthdays, of course. On this day, May 21st, 2000, WWE...
2000.
Yeah. WWE presented their pay-per-view Judgment Day. Was coming from the Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. The main event,
it was in... They had their own...
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. The main event had Triple H taking on The Rock in a Iron Man match for the WWE Championship.
One of those few Iron Man matches we were talking about a while back.
Shawn Michaels was the guest referee. And, of course, you would get interference from all around, especially from Vince and Shane. And at the time, the score was 6-5. Or the final score was 6-5 with Triple H winning and retaining. But he won because it was at a tie and it was coming towards the end. And Triple H won by disqualification when the American Badass, Undertaker, had returned. And it was the first time we're seeing Biker Undertaker. Not the Dark Lord Undertaker or the Dead Man Undertaker. It was the Biker. It was basically him being himself. And a lot of people weren't liking that version of the Undertaker. A lot of people weren't. A lot of people loved him as the Dead Man. But he wanted to try... The only reason why he wanted to do that was to keep himself relevant. And he did. I mean, he went on to face Triple H in 2001 at WrestleMania 17, and was a good match. But it was the debut of that version of his character. Exactly 1 year to the day, May 21st, 2001, it was the main event of Monday Night Raw when Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit teamed together to take on the two-man power trip, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin, for the WWE Tag Team Championship. And that's where both Jericho and Benoit won the titles, but it was also that very, very same night where Triple H tore his quad and was out for where he was out for 8 and 9 months, missed the whole entire ECW, WCW Invasion storyline. Imagine if he never got injured, how would that go? Would he actually side? Would he actually side with his wife? Because she was supposed to be the owner of ECW, and Shane was the owner of WCW. Would Triple H have joined his wife? And you would have, Shane having his champion, and that would be in Booker T. Then Stephanie would have her champion, which as the storyline played out, it was Stone Cold. But what if Stone Cold never jumped and Triple H went in? Because Triple H did wrestle for WCW at one point as his character Hunter Hearst Helmsley,
He's all fancy.
Yeah, where he was all fancy and did the bowing and everything. Or would he have stayed on WWE and joined The Rock and all those guys? But fate had a different story in mind.
I would say he probably would have gone the ECW route.
No, I mean, he probably would have, but who's to say? But either way, it was a great storyline to follow along with. Notable birthdays for all wrestling fans. You may know these names. If you don't, I would say look them up. Andy Boy Simons turns 41. Leva Bates was in AEW. I know of her. Used to be the librarian. That was her gimmick.
I don't remember her.
She turns 42. Hard to believe she's 42. Thought she was younger. Daniel Radomir, 46. Mr. T, turning 73.
He old.
He pities fools still to this day in his 70s. And then, of course, Chris Benoit would have been 58 this year, but sadly had passed away in 2007, as well as his wife, Nancy Benoit. She went by her ring name Woman. She would have been 61 today, but she died in 2007. Not trying to bring the mood down, so sorry. But yeah, overall, match of the night. What is your pick of match of the night for AEW Dynamite? Give him a sec. He's trying to review the matches in his notes. There was only 3.
Pick a number between 1 and 3. And 2.
1.
All right, that was the match of the night.
The first match, right?
I would probably say that last one.
The last match?
Yeah.
Why the last match? Now this is a first. We're differentiating. We're different here on this one.
Well, for the most part, I was just kind of picking a random match. The first time, anyway.
Okay. Why do you say the main event?
Because I feel like they were already kind of going to do something with the trios match thing anyway. That's...
You're squeaking the desk again.
But that's a thing that's going to happen at the pay-per-view here soon anyway.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors?
we can go with the main event on this one. It was only 3 matches, and the first one I can understand, but I don't know why. I can only understand for a little bit. The rest of it is asking, why are you going to put your guys that are going to be in a really, really crazy match to where it could end in possible injury?
Let's have them work double duty.
Yeah, let's have them work this match to where they're going to do insane things. And then at the end of the show, we're going to let them fight some more to where it could lead to possible injury as well.
I think it would have made more sense if they just had them like fight at the end of the show and then,
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be a go-home show.
It is. Your go-home shows are where it's kind of a little bit more relaxed. You just kind of emphasize on the story and
not putting them in a nearly 30-minute match.
You don't want to end up like Rey Mysterio, where he had a match scheduled for WrestleMania where he was going up against El Grande El Americano, and don't you do that. Let me get to my point, okay, before you start grinning like the Cheshire Cat. Now, it was a go-home show for SmackDown, and he ended up getting injured, so he couldn't go to WrestleMania and couldn't compete in WrestleMania. Yeah. That's what we're talking about, is you don't want to do that to your guys that are going to be on the card for a big pay-per-view event that's leading to an even bigger one. Yeah.
They get hurt by people.
They hurt themselves. And here's the Hurt Syndicate going, we didn't do that one.
We didn't hurt that person.
Don't talk about us like that. But no, I mean, I would say, just don't do that. Don't do that. Because Double or Nothing is basically like WWE's Royal Rumble, and then All In is their WrestleMania. Because All In is their like big, huge stadium show.
Is it, which one was the first one they did? Was it Double or Nothing? Or
it was All In.
Oh. Yeah, then that has to be their Mania.
Because that was the one that Cody Rhodes kind of him and the Young Bucks and
the Elite,
Kenny Omega, the Elite had put together and funded the whole entire pay-per-view themselves. And Chris Jericho was a part of it. Rey Mysterio was a part of it. Penta was a part of it.
Mysterio?
Mysterio was in that. That was before he came back to WWE. He didn't have a contract with WWE at the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, at the time, Rey Mysterio wasn't...
For a second, I thought you slipped up and meant Rey Fenix.
No. Well, Rey Fenix was probably there. He was actually there, too. He was in the match against Rey Mysterio.
Rey versus Rey?
Yeah, so it did happen.
We have to see it again with the rivalry.
But the main event was Cody Rhodes against Nick Aldis for the NWA Championship. Yeah, you're laughing, but it's true. That was the main event. And the guy that played Green Arrow from the show Arrow wrestled in a match against Christopher Daniels. And he pulled off an amazing match. It surprised me.
That's another show we're behind on.
We got a list. He's talking about a list of shows that we're behind on.
It's on the list.
You got to quit that. Anyway, so we'll go with that. The main event for Dynamite tonight would be the match of the night. That's our, third match of the night for the week. We got 2 more to pick tomorrow. Or do we want to go with 1?
Depends. I'd say we probably narrow it down to 1 because we have to watch 2 shows. And it's one night, so match of the night's one night. So.
And we'll have to probably watch them simultaneously or something. That way, we don't get on here and talk with you guys too late, because I know by tomorrow it's going to be towards the end of the week. You guys want to get to Friday, get to the weekend, and enjoy yourself on the weekend, and then, of course, get to the pay-per-view events and everything. But, we need to get our rest for that, too, for both tomorrow and the big event, big pay-per-views tomorrow, as well as Saturday night main event. We got to gear up for that, too, because that's a big one.
Double pay-per-view Sunday.
Yeah. We're going to be really, really tired come Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, speaking of which, we are going to go ahead and get ready to cut out of here, guys. First off, before we do, of course, we have to mention a few things. Of course, you want to check out our social media pages. Give me a sec here. I want to pull up one more thing. But definitely check us out on the social media pages as well as Discord. Get that. Move that over here. Move this over there. Where are we at? Okay. Let me enlarge this real quick so I can see what we're doing. Okay. You can always follow us on our Discord. You need to stop doing that. Here's our Discord here. You want to type that in, and it should send you to our thing. If
Either
not,
that or it's in the link is in the YouTube description.
it is. It's in the YouTube description. And if you still can't get it that way, just message us through TikTok or Facebook through our social media page, and we will send you the link. We're not sticklers. We're not going to ignore you. If you want to be a part of the Discord, we just ask that you be polite with other wrestling fans and keep it PG, because we don't know if these other wrestling fans are minors. You know, we want to keep a nice, friendly community.
Some of those rules we do intend on enforcing them strictly.
Yes,
like
we do.
Immediate ban for some of them, and I made sure to specify which ones are immediate bans. But yeah,
definitely. Also, you guys want to go ahead and check out our online store. It's crosspromopodcast-shop.fourthwall.com. I'll let you guys look at that real quick, and then I'll show you guys here.
you want to put the link on the bottom while you're showing them the thing, or
no? There's no way to do that. So yeah, this is our website here. You can get shirts, mouse pads, stickers, sweatshirts, hats, coffee mugs, beanies, hoodies, anything that has our logo on it. You could wear it to a wrestling event. If anyone asks you, what is that? You say, it's a podcast that I listen to. You should really check them out. We really appreciate it if you guys do.
one of the hosts really irritates the other host.
Yeah.
And the host that gets irritated threatens to hit the one that's doing the irritating.
Most of the time, yes. All right.
It's not as bad as the baked potato table incident.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wepa.
Wepa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that one. All right, guys. So we are going to go ahead and head on out of here. I would like to thank everyone that was in the chats. Divine Yinzer, the Divine One, thank you, and Aaron Black.
Or that Chris, not this Chris.
Yeah, Aaron Black 1210, which is that Chris, not this Chris. We thank you for joining the show. If you guys missed our live, if anytime you missed the live, it's okay. We're not going to get upset. Life happens, but you can always listen to us, because we do have audio of the show that you're watching right now. You can find us anywhere you get your podcast. For example, we are on Apple. We are on Amazon, Amazon Music. We are on iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify. Anywhere you get your podcast, just Google search Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast, and we'll be right there. We should be right there. We better be right there. And then, of course, if you're on YouTube and you're watching, or on our social media page, follow us, subscribe to us, like our video.
Still got to get around to adding like all the official links and stuff on the Discord.
That's okay. We'll get to that.
I'll get around to putting where we stream at least, like either tonight or sometime in the morning.
That's perfectly all right. But again, we'd love for feedback from you guys. Love for you guys to just get in touch with us. And as always, you can always email us, Chris.
crosspromopod@gmail.com.
All right. Well, folks, we will be here again tomorrow night, and we're doing a double header. We're going to be going over TNA Impact and AEW's Collision. the go-home show for Collision. And in a way, it's a go-home show for TNA because you got Joe Hendry defending his title at Battleground, in a way. Yeah. So we may see Trick Williams pop up tomorrow on TNA. So until tomorrow,
until we meet again,
I'm Kevin.
I'm Chris.
And we gone.
Let's say we might have to do that one again.
No, I don't think so. I think we're good.